right. And yo, guys, how's it going? It's Dom here with my boy Jack. Say what's up, Jack.
Hey, what's good?
And our moods were great a second ago because we're relaunching our This Week in Sports show, which we only truly launched with our MLB season preview when we still thought the season might occur. Unfortunately, sports have taken a turn for the worse, and we haven't seen anything other than KBO in the last couple of months live. And basically today, we're going to be bringing you guys just a couple pieces of news because for the first time in maybe 5 months, we've got 5 or 6 pieces of newsworthy stuff. Excuse my tongue getting tied up there. Couple other things I wanted to mention. I said I'd be done with school. I'm done with school now. I've got a couple more things to finish up with teachers this weekend, but I'm totally invested in YouTube now. I'm going to be putting my time into this show, into putting quality content out for you guys, and enjoying what I do. We're also going to start with a Lakers trip video next week or two. We've wanted to do that for a long time. Me and Jack actually took a trip down to Portland this year to see the Lakers, and we wanted to talk about just how sick it was, kind of the experience. Cool little story time vid. Just stay tuned next week for that. That'll be really awesome. And then we also are going to make a little bit of a video within the next 2 or maybe 1 or 2 days talking about the MLB draft and how it's changed. Been shortened to 5 rounds instead of 50. And we're going to be covering it as well. There's a million videos out on YouTube, and there's information out. I'll sift through all that, and I'll bring you guys all the basic stuff you need to know, at least to get a good sense of what's going on in that 2020 MLB draft. With that being said, we're going to get straight into our episode today, and we're going to begin by actually talking about the NCAA releasing their plan for the return of college sports. And yeah, so basically, as you can see on this article that was just published within the last hour, Jack just let me know within the last hour that this was going on. Basically, spring sports came to an end in March, and they believe that they're going to return in the fall. I don't know. What do you think about this, Jack?
Let's see. For me, I think that it's definitely. I mean, they've said that they're going to return in the fall, but there's a lot of circumstances that have to take place for that to happen. One, I think, is that the NCAA president said publicly yesterday that they're not going to have fall sports unless the campuses are open.
I mean, that's the thing, and I'm totally unsure about that. I go to Wazoo, obviously. I'm not sure if we'll be back in the fall, although our chancellor, has vowed that we will. I don't think anybody knows what's happening with coronavirus, as we've said before on this channel. We're not going to try to predict that. The NCAA keeps making plans and keeps trying to predict what's going to happen and predict what we can do to, affect it. But, yeah, all we can do is really hope for the best, practice good hygiene, social distancing to some extent, and I don't know. I do believe that we need to get society back on track at some point, and we can't just, spend the rest of our lives cooped up, quarantined, Zooming everything that's important. However, we don't want people to die individually, and we don't want to put the human race at risk, obviously.
Exactly.
And and it's just a tricky time. We really can't predict any of this. I just think it's silly to make these plans right now. I think you should work on them and modify them. I think the NBA is taking a good initiative and waiting until June to make a real decision, because you don't know what's going to happen. You should wait till,
Exactly.
You shouldn't speculate based on half of the evidence. And when it comes down to that, that's really how I feel. And Jack,
Right.
Yeah, do you feel the same way?
Exactly. I think definitely you have to look at this, and you got to make scientific based decisions, and you got to make sure that you don't rush everything too quickly, because there's been a lot of states that have been opening up their economy, and I just think that's not a good idea, because there's going to be a second wave of this if we decide to open up our economy now, as opposed to maybe more in the fall when we have a little bit more of an idea of what this is going to look like.
See, and even then, all we're doing is speculating, like
Right.
opening up our economy now, we don't know, like that's obviously goes against certain guidelines, but at the same time, it is a real fear of if we'll ever be able to get back on track, or if this will just, force us to really change society forever, just to be more social distance, which, most, would be a sad thing. But in any case, we're not going to bring you guys too much COVID stuff. You came here for sports news, and that's what we're excited about. College football, man. If it can happen, we're down with it. Whether it takes all the players getting tested and we can't be there, we want some sports, whatever it takes. Yeah, it's a really tricky situation, and we're not going to talk about it anymore. We do have some better news for you guys today. Jack actually wanted to mention somebody hit how many home runs in a college game?
Oh, yeah. So on this day in 1999, Florida State was playing Maryland, and the final score was 26-2. And one of Florida State's players, his name was Marshall McDougal. He hit 6 consecutive home runs in that one game, and he finished the day 7 for 7 with 16 RBIs and 25 total bases, which are both an NCAA single game record.
I actually want to see if there's somebody. I'm sure, we should watch one of these little videos, shouldn't we? Let's watch this little one.
Right.
I just want to peep what's going on.
May 9th, 1999. The Florida State Seminoles were in College Park, Maryland to finish out their weekend series against the University of Maryland.
Is there videos in this?
Last was
Yeah, nah.
No.
All right, well, you can go watch this guy's video if you want. I don't know who it is. Baseball Quotes 1. If you want to go watch this video, you can. See what happened. Shout out to him for making a video on it. But, yeah, we just thought that was a cool little thing that happened today. Wanted to mention it. Anyway, Jack, do you want to start us off with the big news coming out of our 206 area code today?
Oh, yeah. So, our four-star offensive lineman, his name's Owen Prentice. He received an offer from LSU yesterday, and it was not in one of his final 6 schools. But as we know, LSU is they're one of the best football schools in America, and this is saying a lot for a local player. And
it is.
And I just looked at his highlights, and he is very, very dominant.
Yeah. If you can't see, sorry, I'm trying to shift it so you guys can see. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, you can see he had all Pac-12 schools, and he's now considering UCLA, or considering LSU. Yeah, sorry, I can't get it to really show up in the stream. Like if I do this, I'm sure there we go. Anyway, you can see he was considering Cal, Stanford, Arizona State, UW, USC, and UCLA. obviously a big Pac-12 guy from O'Day. But if I were him, I would honestly go to LSU. I hate to say it, but I just don't think we have as strong of a football culture as they do. I think, no matter how much money USC has, the Californians they just don't have that same passion for football anymore. The way that Southerners do, especially Louisianans. And, if I were him, if I had the choice, this is so easy for me to say, obviously. I'm sitting here. Was never a 4-star football player. I never had that opportunity. And I obviously, when I was little, would always say I would go to WSU, which is even, less money and less prestigious of a program than any of these, some would say. However, all I can say is, dude's a beast. 4 stars, the number 11 offensive guard in the country, 6'3", 295, number 5 overall guy in Washington, only behind JT Tuimoloau and probably a couple others, right?
JT Tuimoloau is a defensive lineman.
Yeah, but this isn't positional. This is like overall.
Yeah, overall, JT Tuimoloau is number 1 in the state. But,
yeah, exactly. So, you see, these rankings are of all players, not just offensive guards. Here, let's actually check. Yeah, JT Tuimoloau, Emeka Egbuka, Sam Hewer, Julian Simon, Owen Prentice.
Yeah.
Then Will Latu, Jabez Tene. Man. Junior Alexander, we actually have a good chance at. From what I've heard. There's like a couple wide receivers that we have a chance at all of them.
Right.
And Clay Millen, Hugh Millen's son. Shout out to him. I guess we have his junior year highlights. We'll watch a couple of these. Why not? You guys see that all right? Yeah, you guys can actually see that all right. It's a little moving at like a couple frames a second, but okay.
Picks a guy on every single play.
Yeah, you guys see what's going on. Okay, here, I'm gonna rewind. Okay, the second play. I'm just gonna show him the second play. You can slow it down too, but anyway, look at this guy right here and this guy right here. They boom, 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 boom. It goes. Okay, no, I might have got here. I have to watch that again. Boom. Boom. Boom.
Yep.
I don't even know who they're playing in this clip. Do you know who they're playing, Jack?
I believe they're playing Kelso.
Kelso, jeez.
And Kelso's a good school, too.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for Owen Prentice. Owen Prentice, yeah. Honestly, if I were you, I'd go to LSU, but don't take my advice.
Take what's best for you and your family.
Yeah, this is your choice. You earned it. All those hours in the weight room, all those hours on the practice field, all those hours in the film room on huddle. You earned it. You go where you want to be, and that's it. Now, we've got a couple more pieces of news for you guys before we end our episode today. Jack, do you want to tell us about Jadeveon Clowney, about the breaking news?
Yeah, sure.
This came out about 15 minutes ago, by the way.
It came out about 15 minutes ago. So, according to multiple sources, the Philadelphia Eagles have offered Jadeveon Clowney a contract. I don't know the details of that deal, but Dan Sileo on Twitter tweeted out that the Eagles' offer is very close to what the Seahawks have offered him. So it'll be really interesting to see, what Clowney's decision is going to be. If I were him, I would come back to Seattle and think he really developed a strong culture there, with Pete Carroll and, that whole team. So it'll be interesting to see what he decides to do. But, yeah, the Philadelphia Eagles have offered him a contract. I don't see him going to the Eagles. Even if it might have been a slightly better deal than what the Seahawks gave him, I don't think he will. But it'll be interesting to see.
It will be interesting to see. And we can't really tell, but as far as I'm concerned, both of these teams are, likely. Both these teams are likely playoffs. They'd only be kept out because the NFC is so stacked, and both teams could be really boosted by Jadeveon Clowney, an elite pass rusher. Obviously, one of the three most important positions in football, behind only quarterback and left tackle. I'd say edge rusher, quarterback villain. Jadeveon Clowney fits the bill. With the Eagles with Fletcher Cox, that'd be scary. And I mean, they've got some dogs there. Obviously, with Seattle, he'd be back with Jaron Reed and the boys. And we were hoping that a couple guys take a step forward. LJ Collier, Rasheem Green's been decent for a while. I've always thought he could take a step forward. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen with Clowney, but we want you. You're going to make whichever team. I'd say this could honestly give the edge to either team. We're playing the Eagles in Philly this year. The Philly might be a better team with Clowney. We're definitely a better team than them with Clowney, but they might be a better team than us with Clowney. Do you think we win that playoff game if we don't have Clowney? I'm not sure. Probably not. So by that estimation, it's hard to say that we're a better team without Clowney this year. For that reason, I've always said the Seahawks should pay him. I mean, I think Clowney, when you get down to it, I wouldn't take Ngakoue over Clowney. I think Clowney is a much more special talent. Yeah.
I don't think we would have won at least 5 of those games without Clowney.
No, Clowney was a nightmare for offensive coordinators. It's really hard to block Jadeveon Clowney.
I remember in that game last year when they beat San Francisco on the road, Clowney was just a force in that game.
He really was. Yeah. Anyway, if you guys have any requests for us to talk about stuff, leave it in the comments. Leave it in live chat if you're in here while we're streaming. With that being said, we're probably going to wrap this video up pretty early today. It feels early for us because we usually do these long streams. We started with the draft. Anyway, I think that's going to be it for us today. It's been Dom and Jack on a Saturday morning. And we'll see you guys next week with a ton of content.
Watch out for our Lakers trip.
Watch out for Lakers trip vid/vids. We just have a ton of stories and stuff to talk about and to tell. Seeing the Lakers live, seeing Portland live, seeing the Les Schwab Invitational. There's a lot of stuff we can talk about there. Yes. And that's going to be a really cool video. It's stuff that we actually know more about than, Colin Cowherd. If we try to attack the same topics as, guys on sports talk radio, we're obviously not going to have the inside sources, the inside connections. We're obviously not going to be as fluid as them with it. Sometimes not as knowledgeable or as used to it either. But we're using that mostly to hone our skills. However, this Lakers trip and the Les Schwab Invitational, these things that we're going to talk about, we were there, and we were some of the most knowledgeable people in those buildings, or some of the most attentive, some of the people who remember it the best, some of the people who have the most to say about it. So we are excited to bring you guys those videos. Thanks for joining us on this relaunch of This Week in Sports / first launch. All we've really done is make a bunch of videos for fun about the draft, about other stuff, and to try to get our name out there. But we appreciate you guys for watching. We'll see you next time, and peace.
Peace.